Hey there, it's 420 somewhere, and most of that stuff is international today. Alright, so we're going to start with a kind of an annoying thing, and I'm partially to blame for this. I'm actually one of the culprits here. A lot of the news organizations got the whole Thailand weed thing wrong, and it's kind of embarrassing the amount of wrongness they got it, because it's just completely flat out wrong. So a lot of the news that you heard about Thailand legalizing marijuana was that it was legalized, but then you couldn't actually smoke it. And there was a cap at 0.2% THC levels. And that cap is ridiculous. Like, it basically means you can't smoke anything. And so it was basically this paradoxical law that was happening, where it was just trying to get the cannabis industry going in the country, but then didn't want to have the other side of it, which was having people recreationally smoke marijuana. That's what we heard. We heard it at CNN, we heard it at BBC, we heard it on this show. I said the same thing. And actually, that's all completely wrong. It seems like there was just an echo chamber that happened, and people listened to one source who was saying, who saw 0.2% THC on the government order, and then just ran with that and said that must be a ban. But it actually was a ban on extracts. It was a ban on food, on how much weed you could have in food. So it was completely different from the actual decriminalization, which is what it was in Thailand. It was a decriminalization of weed, meaning that there really isn't any laws around it. It's completely out in the open now. They're kind of behind. It's similar to what Mexico is trying to do, or has done with the Supreme Court there. Yeah, that's my bad. We completely got that wrong. So if you can go to Thailand and you can smoke weed, it's fine. It's decriminalized. There's nothing they can do. There's really, the law enforcement, their hands are tied, or their hands are untied. I don't know. But anyway, sorry about that. And CNN and BBC and all those other ones should also apologize. Secondly, we're seeing Germany get closer and closer and closer and closer to legalizing marijuana. And a lot of people are thinking that once Germany legalizes marijuana, the largest economy in Europe, we're going to see other countries in the UN follow suit, and that would be a huge thing for Europe. So people are really, really excited. There's a BBC article about this. I know I just said that BBC got that one article wrong, but this one maybe they got right, saying that once Germany legalizes, we're going to see a lot of different countries in the UN follow suit, and that's really exciting. That means that once Germany does this, which is getting extremely close, things are going to change in Europe for sure. So that'll be cool. Finally, this is a situation that I don't quite know what I think about yet, but I think it's worth talking about. We are seeing, just like I feared, we're seeing Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson and kind of the big, I don't even know what kind of Republican you call them, but the Trumplicans, they're all getting around the idea of weed being a big factor in these mass shootings.
Look at Robert Bobby Crimo. Would you sell a gun to that guy? Does he seem like a nutcase? Of course he does. So why didn't anyone raise an alarm? Well, maybe because he didn't stand out. Maybe because there are a lot of young men in America who suddenly look and act a lot like this guy. It's not an attack, it's just true. Like Crimo, they inhabit a solitary fantasy world of social media, porn, and video games. They're high on government-endorsed weed. Smoke some more, it's good for you. They're numbed by the endless psychotropic drugs that are handed out at every school in the country by crackpots posing as counselors.
Now, I've shown a clip from Laura Ingraham's show saying exactly this. Another mass shooting happened on July 4th, and she went again to weed, saying that it causes psychosis, that it makes people less sociable, and they tend to become psychotic from smoking marijuana. First off the bat, her understanding of this, along with Tucker Carlson's understanding of this, is so black and white and binary and dumb that it's almost not worth talking about. However, the fear-mongering is getting more and more and more intense. So yes, it is true there are studies out there that link psychosis and marijuana. That is a thing. High THC level marijuana, smoking constantly, every day, 24/7, you have a high chance, or a higher chance, of gaining some kind of psychotic break. There's also this other deal where you can get this disease that makes you just like nonstop vomit, especially as a teenager. So when you are young and you're smoking crazy THC leveled marijuana, you gotta watch out for that. That being said, the link between a mass shooting or anyone actively being crazy from marijuana and going out and doing horrible things is zero. There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. There's a big gap. So they're kind of seeing like a little thing here, and then the mass shooting thing is up here, and they're saying that marijuana kind of creates that leap there. There are so many factors in between there. There are millions and millions of factors that make young men do these things. Marijuana maybe is one of a billion, but they are kind of attaching to it because it seems like a pretty easy talking point. I guess I get that. The problem is it's unfair to marijuana, which is 99.99998% of the time a very calming, safe, easy thing to do for many, many people in the world. And to try and link this with mass shootings is clearly just, it's just bad faith. It's not, they're not doing it in any actual sense of trying to get down to what's wrong here. They're doing it in a sense of trying to distract from any other point that might get in the way of their political viewpoint, which is frustrating as hell. And everyone is a culprit in this. Everyone does this. They do it especially. So it's got to stop. And this, I'm sure, will not be the last time we talk of this. So unfortunately, the answer here, and this is a much less sexy answer, but the answer is that it's not as simple as the way they make it seem. It's much more complicated, and this issue of mass shootings and young men doing this is an issue that is so freaking vast. And I like that we're talking about it. I think we should talk about it. I don't think gun control is the full thing. I'm not gonna get into this. All right, that's it for the show today. We'll be back on Friday with some more stories. I'll see you then.